Hey, what is going on YouTube? It is your boy, the King of Tilly here, welcoming y'all back to my channel. We are back. I guess we're back. We've been back probably 3 days, 4 days by the time you guys are seeing this. I'm probably going to change clothes a lot because this is going to be a long video. I intended to do this like one take, no cuts. Just kind of me venting out everything that kind of had me leave YouTube in the first place, and I started trying to do that and it didn't work, and I just can't do that like in one sitting. And basically right now I'm going to go ahead and say that I did some stuff while I was away. I kind of did some thinking, and I actually ended up coming back because of a dream that somebody really close to me said I should come back to YouTube, who somebody close to me that I don't associate with anymore. And it just kind of gave me that feeling of like, you know what the fuck am I doing sitting here, just sitting in my room. I literally only played Lego games the entire time I was away from YouTube. I quit the GPL, and just a lot of stuff just kind of didn't go well, and I'm just not using my time as as I should be. There we go. That's the word I'm thinking of. And I decided, you know what? It's already time for me to come back. I've spent about a month feeling sorry for myself. I've spent over a month being sorry for myself at this point, and it's half past time. I get my shit together, and I just quit being a little bitch and come back to YouTube. And of course, here I am. So, first thing I want to say before I actually get into this is go ahead and comment below what kind of stuff you want me to see, what kind of stuff you want to see. Because as of today, I'm not only going to be a Let's Play channel, I'm not only going to be a MOBA channel, or I'm not only going to have MOBAs for when I don't do Let's Plays. Tell me what you guys are interested in watching on my channel, and I'll start from there. If I do a video, let's say somebody suggests a game I should Let's Play, or somebody suggests a game series I should try out for streams or something, and I try it out. Let's say I do have fun on this game, I'll continue to play it. If I don't have fun, I won't. Regardless, I kind of want you guys to see how I get my own opinions on games and stuff like that. But regardless, just comment something below you want to see me do. Not just it doesn't just have to be gaming related on that note. Because I kind of want to branch away from gaming a little bit. Not just completely like cut it out. I want to mainly be a gaming channel, but I want to try some other stuff. But I don't really know. I don't really have an eventful enough life to do vlogs and stuff. I actually really don't. Damn. Okay. That kind of makes me more sad. But regardless, I'm gonna go ahead and get into this video. So I will see you guys in a quick second. It'll probably be like half an hour for me. Alright, so if you guys didn't know, I kind of left. If you guys didn't know, for whatever reason, you've been like watching some of my older videos and thinking, "Hey, man, you're really going at it now, bro. But when's TRTR coming back, bro? You're like halfway through the Grand Archipelago, bro. You're doing silver now. Whatever happened to the Soul Link?" Some people, I guess, just didn't really know about the break. And if you guys, but if you guys do want to know, I kind of want to get into this as much as I really can. But it's kind of hard to talk about, I guess. Especially since, thinking back on it, most of it was just me being a little bitch and bitching about my problems and kind of just falling into a state that was not healthy for me to continue doing videos and the like. So I guess I just started off by saying that while I was gone, I spent a week in a mental hospital, and I'm not going to give the name of the mental hospital because I kind of don't want people to go around and like be like, "Yo, he went here. If I go here, I'm gonna be a badass too." I'm not badass. But I went to the hospital because I was suicidal, and I will explain that as I get more in depth into some of the situations. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and start back in February, close to Valentine's Day, when I lost one of my closest online friends, who I am somewhat friends with now, I guess. We're not as close as we used to be, but we do still talk. He's also attempting to do YouTube as far as I know. I don't know if he's still doing it, but he said he wanted to be a YouTuber. So, if you guys don't know him, Death164 Death the Gamer 164, Kyle, whatever you guys call him. I call him Kyle. I call him Death. I call him 164. I just call him 164 occasionally. That's his real name. His real name's 164. He goes by Kyle at school, and he goes by Death online. But he and I kind of got into a pretty big argument because he was complaining to me about something in his personal life. I've always really been there to help him out when he's having problems in his personal life. He just kind of got me on a bad day where I was just kind of stressed out with family stuff, where I was stressed out with school stuff, and I was just not in a good headspace, I guess. And I just kind of snapped on him for commenting in my Discord server mentioning me as opposed to private messaging me, which would have been the smarter choice to do. He always does it, and to this day I don't understand why. It's more effective if he PMs me, because then you're not going to have like 20,000 other people be like, yo dude, can you not post that here? Regardless, I got that smoker's cough again. From there, he and I kind of had a really big fight. We weren't friends anymore. Then, a couple days later, me and Ryoma the Killers, if you guys don't remember him, he is... I don't even want to talk about him, honestly. I'm not even that upset about it. It just kind of put me in a more downward spiral because of some of the stuff he did end up saying about me. He had begun getting his quote unquote brothers to join my Discord server and harass me for not being in his meme clan about Keemstar, I think it was. I don't even know. I'm gonna be popping up the screenshot he sent me right now, and you guys can pause that and read them. But basically the general gist of what he said is, you know what? I'm the fucking one who's right here because you're not joining my fucking meme clan, and someday you're gonna be sad. You're gonna realize that you're shit in life, and you'll be begging me to come back and be your friend, and I'm gonna say no. And quite frankly, I know he's fucking full of shit there because he's really doing nothing to kind of better himself as a person. I'm working at bettering my YouTube videos. I'm working at bettering myself emotionally, mentally, and physically. And I'm kind of getting help from you guys just because, honestly, some of the support I've seen already since coming back is fucking amazing, and I love you guys so much. But it just kind of got me in a bad headspace. And then a week later, I got into a really big fight with my family, and it just wasn't a good place for me emotionally. I'm not really trying in school anymore still, but basically we got into a really petty argument over something that wasn't that big of a deal, and it just kind of, I felt alone, and I had maybe one person who I honestly felt I could talk to, my girlfriend of about 6 months, and the weekend after this, she ended up leaving me and claimed that it was because she fell out of love with me, when that's just something that doesn't really happen. You don't fall out of love after 6 months unless something is really suppressed. And since she broke up with me, I've heard multiple reasons as to why she did, and she says all of them are true, but she's forgiven me for them, and I should forgive myself. One of the main things being that I quote unquote abused her. I never intentionally brought her physical harm or emotional harm or mental harm or anything like that. For those of you who don't know, I'm gonna go ahead and say it right here. I've said this multiple times in the past. I am into a kink called BDSM. It is essentially the broke kink, 50 Shades of Grey shit. And she claimed she was, and I'd mess around with her, I'd play fight with her too much, and she felt scared to tell me that she did not enjoy play fighting, and as opposed to eventually talking to me about it and hoping that she and I could work it out, she let it destroy her, and she says she's forgiven me and stuff like that. It's obvious she hasn't, and personally, I've never really said this before online, but that's kind of a really hard space for me to hit because my father was pretty abusive when I was young towards my mother. He threatened to be abusive towards me and my sister after my mother left him, and there were occasions where he basically said he wanted to, but he was coked out on whatever drugs, meth, heroin, whatever he did at the time, and he never really got around to doing it. We ended up moving out, and I've been living in this house since I was about 6 or 7. Let me PM this guy back. But we've been living here, and I guess ever since I kind of realized what kind of person my dad was, I've spent my entire life trying not to become him, and I guess it just kind of hit close to home because that's something I really couldn't avoid doing. I never meant to bring anybody physical harm, emotional harm. I'm the kind of person, I don't like hurting people, okay? Like, I understand that it's inevitable in life sometimes, and sometimes it will happen, but you just, you, it, it's just hard to do, if that makes sense. And you don't really have a choice at times, but you hurt people, you get hurt, etc. And I just kind of got really close to suicide because of that. Somebody had found out I was planning on killing myself because of just kind of all the things combined, and then called the cops, and they essentially 1013'd me, which in the state of Georgia, 1013 means that the police detain you and put you into a mental hospital for fear that you are going to hurt yourself or others for a minimum of 72 hours, unless you are presumed fine, or unless you are physically presumed fine at the while you are detained in a hospital, like a medical hospital, or they decide that you're lying about something and presumably send you to a police office to interrogate you about something. I was put into a mental hospital for a week, and during the week I was in the hospital, my best friend, Kinky Sailor Miles, you guys have probably seen a bit of him on this channel. If you guys watched me when I was Macu Stove, he was in pretty much every video I ever did. And for the longest time, he was my best friend. And it all kind of changed. When I went to the hospital, he had begun texting the girl romantically, trying to get with her romantically, with the girl who initially basically got me there, the girl who kind of pushed me to having suicidal thoughts. And I mean, he's not a really good friend, and I'm gonna be honest, it wasn't the first time he's done it. I'm not all that surprised that he did do it. It's just kind of, he's still to this day acting like I am in the wrong for doing this. He's acting like I'm the one in the wrong for he's acting like I'm in the wrong for complaining about his basically betraying his best friend's trust over a girl who has no interest in him. And to this day, if it ended up getting physical between him and I would end up winning. Everybody who knows both of us knows that is a fact, and for that fact, he is scared to actually fight me. He's telling everybody he wants to beat my ass and that he's going to eventually, but he has never made a move to harm me in person. Anytime he sees me in person, he tries to maintain a 20 feet distance. I'm not going to go too far into that because that's just me being mad, and that has really nothing to do. It kind of has, I mean, what he did to me has effects, I guess, as to why I didn't come back to YouTube sooner. And I honestly, this is about me being sad, not me being mad. But while I was in the mental hospital, oh my lord, focus, you motherfucker. There we go, just snap. Okay. While I was in the hospital, I met a lot of really cool people, and I actually kind of enjoyed my stay there. Aside from the obvious complaints, when you go to a mental hospital, they give you probably a worse bed than jail. Is all I'm gonna say. It felt like I was sleeping on a fucking rock. They kept every room in this building at like 32 fucking degrees, and they would not allow us to wear hoodies, coats, or anything. I really could wear nothing except a flannel shirt, which I ended up wearing. And it was cold. I don't think my blood was above 96 the entire time I was there. They actually checked our vitals every morning to make sure we weren't like holding up our pills, trying to overdose, and like slowly losing our blood flow or getting sick because of them. Because apparently some people do that. They were actually really strict about some of that stuff. I have no idea why. Um, they said that males and females are not allowed to interact with each other in the hospital. You had to sit with a specific age group or between a specific age group, and because there were a maximum of like 4 guys, they just didn't care. But I was prescribed 2 medications, which I am taking right now. One of them is trazodone, which is supposed to help me sleep and somewhat help my depression, and the other is Wellbutrin, which is supposed to help my depression. I don't know why I'm telling you guys that shit. If I ever like go to Seattle or something and you're a fan there, just like, yo, hit me up with that Wellbutrin prescription, cause I left mine at home. Thanks, guys. But um, and after I got out, I said a lot of stupid stuff to the girl who had initially gotten me into the hospital. Not the one who 1013'd me, but the one who I was dating. And it's still, even now, it's kind of hard for me to bring this up because it was kind of in a position of my life where I kind of finally felt like everything was aligning for me. I was happy doing YouTube. I was happy talking to you guys. And I had motivation to do everything. I was getting higher grades in school. I was doing all this stuff that was just a lot better for me. And it kind of came to an end. I started really doing nothing except watching Seth MacFarlane's shows, Family Guy and American Dad, and watching that 70s show. Whenever I wasn't watching something, I was listening to stuff like Hollywood Undead, Shinedown, stuff I love fucking listening to, by the way. If you guys are a real fan of me, you will check out Hollywood Undead because they are fucking amazing. But I'm going off topic once again. Whenever that's really all I did, and I guess last Saturday, I kind of realized that, you know what, I'm kind of just digging myself in a hole, and it hit me emotionally because I knew I was digging myself into a deep hole I shouldn't have been digging myself into. So of course I go out of my way to attempt to fix said hole, and it just kind of made it worse for me because I felt like I was forcing everything that I was doing, and that's never healthy. But regardless, I ended up going to sleep that night, and I had a dream of said girl basically telling me that YouTube is my thing, and nobody really understands this. Like, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that there are a lot of people who do YouTube as their thing, and a lot of people have unique content. I don't really have that much unique content. I try to, but at the same time, it's just not that good. But I do end up trying, and this is something I've been passionate about. If you guys don't know, I have been passionate about doing YouTube ever since I first logged on to the site. I was maybe 6 or 7. I found youtube.com through I don't even know what tutorial. I started watching some videos, and I realized, you know what, there are a lot of people who do video games on here. I love playing video games. Maybe someday I'll be one of those guys who does video games. Well, what I decided to do was I talked to my grandparents about it. I'm like, hey, can I start a YouTube channel? They're like, yeah. So we went and bought me a handheld camera, which was like 280p max settings, and I deleted all of these videos so I can happily say that you won't find them anywhere on the internet. But I ended up making a Let's Play that went to about chapter 16 of Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon, aka the game that got me hooked in the series. So, for those of you who don't know, I started playing FE7 when I was a kid. I got up to FE8, and I never really played FE9 or 10. Then, for Christmas one year, my family was like, hey, he'd probably like this game. He's really into fantasy worlds. And they get me a copy of Shadow Dragon, and I'm like, oh, cool, this is a Fire Emblem game. And up until this point, I wasn't like hardcore into the series. I liked some of the stuff, but it was a bore to me at the time, because I was the kind of kid, even now I'm still kind of the kid who I didn't really care about the story. I cared about the gameplay of certain games. And when I was able to kind of look at it, or I decided, you know what? There's no reason not to. I'm gonna go ahead and check out the story of this game. So I started reading the story, and Arcanea has a really interesting story in my opinion, and that's one of my favorite things about Fire Emblem, is most of them had really good stories about struggles from even princes basically. You go from a prince to being nothing. You get kicked out of your home, and then eventually you grow the power to fight back and reclaim your kingdom. And that's just something that I thought was amazing, and that's why Sacred Stones is my favorite game. It also takes some of the stuff from the Lopter, or from the Yggdrasil area, with kind of a dark god trying to take over. I guess I don't really think it would be that much because then again there is Julius, and that's really the only reason I'm saying that. But I mean, it kind of had those two elements of those, and that's why it's my favorite Fire Emblem game. But that's not what I'm talking about right now. Um, but I've been wanting to do YouTube for a long ass time, and I want to thank you guys so much for giving me the opportunity to do this, and giving me the opportunity to wake up every morning knowing that, hey, I got to record today, knowing that, hey, I should probably get to editing those 20,000 videos I edited, or that I recorded last night, but I didn't have time to edit them. I have like 20 million things to record, and I am going to be bringing a couple of new series to my channel, but I want you to suggest a lot of them. Now, life stories are going to be coming back for a little bit because I do have some stories that I feel should be told, and I'm going to go ahead and bulk record them. I already have the gameplay footage from them. It's just a matter of adding in the audio, recording the audio, then putting it in my editing software, and using said software to upload said videos. But I'm going to be doing that for a little bit, and there's a lot of stuff I want to do. I want to do Dota 2 Hero Spotlights. I know not a lot of people on my channel are really into Dota, because anytime I've ever really done Dota, I've gotten less views. Pokemon, I got, average between 5 to 20 views generally. Fire Emblem, I average between 0 to 20 views on average, or I generally. Pretty much every game I played that isn't Dota, I average a higher view count, and I don't have a complaint with that because regardless, I'm going to record what I feel like recording. But I kind of want you guys to have a say in what I do. So one of the main things I've been wanting to do for a really long time, and it kind of hit me that nobody really watches my channel for the Dota content. But I want to do Dota 2 Hero Spotlights, in which I go through each of the, I believe it's like 114 heroes now. It's either, I'll look it up later. I'm not gonna put it in the video, but like I'm gonna look it up. And basically though, what's the fucking word? I want to go through and kind of explain builds, or some good builds for them in my opinion. I'm gonna go through and I want to explain their backstory and their basics, or their base stats, their trees, what they do, some of their abilities, stuff like that. Because I've been getting a lot more into Dota lately. It's something I've been playing with my cousin, who I'd pretty much lost contact with. We lose contact with each other a lot because we always just keep moving on to different games, and he kind of stays playing Dota, and I just don't play it enough. I'm getting to play it more. I'm actually getting up higher in the ranked ladder. Before I left the Dota 2 community, I was a Herald 0, which is basically the lowest rank and the lowest number. Now I'm up to Herald 4, which is almost a Guardian 1, and you guys don't really need to know too much about that, because unless you are interested in watching Dota or playing Dota. I'm talking too much. That's one thing. My commentary is going to be lacking for a while. I kind of want to do more live streams for a while. And because of that, I am planning out a couple more series that will be live streamed. I'm planning out a couple more videos of existing series that will be live streamed. So there were a couple times where I said, you know what, I want to go ahead and have the Road to Ruin finished before I come back to YouTube. Because for those of you who don't know, the Road to Ruin is a Fire Emblem ROM hack I've been playing since Christmas. I said I wanted to be finished with it by by the end of March, and it didn't end up happening because I quit. And now we are halfway through April, and I am still at chapter 16 of 20. I believe it's chapter 16, either 15 or 16. I'm not going to look too far into it. Focus, bitch. And I couldn't really find the motivation to do it because I'm at a chapter where I'm just stuck at. And what I plan to do instead is I plan to live stream it. I don't know when I'm going to live stream it. I'm not going to have the chat up. I'm not going to have any face cam up or anything. It's just going to be strictly me playing that episode live, or playing that chapter live. And after I finish the chapter, I will end up the live stream, turn the VOD into a video on the playlist, and boom, we will go from there. Now, that said, though, I do want to start a couple more series of live stream games because Fire Ash is something that you kind of get burnout from if you've played any of the gens in a good bit of time. I played Hoenn like 6 times before we started playing Hoenn in Fire Ash. Like the night before, I did my sleep lock, and then we started Hoenn. Fucking sorry. If it wasn't obvious, I've been looking at my hair a lot throughout this video because that's one thing I am known for. I am known for looking like Simba. But regardless, basically what I'm saying is there's existing series will come back. It's just a matter of me getting motivation to go back to said games. That's why I do want to come back to The Road to Ruin, but I want to come back to it in a live video with you guys watching and helping me strategize. It'll be a long video because I won't be able to make jump cuts or anything. It'll probably be a 2-hour live stream or something because I'm going to try not to speed up. But regardless, I'm going to talk to Dylan about bringing the Soul Link back. I know he's working on a versus with Aoi. I know he's doing his Black 2 Nuzlocke now, which I'm going to have to wait till he's done now to do my own fucking Black Nuzlocke. Thanks a lot, Dylan! But aside from that, yeah, there's not really that much else to say. I hope you guys did enjoy. Like I said at the beginning of the video, go ahead and drop some ideas for stuff you want to watch me play or try to make a series of or try to let's play. Leave it in the comments below and I will gladly do it. But on that note, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys get back to your regularly scheduled day. Please guys, go ahead and drop that like button, comment, and sub, Scribble for Mizzle. As always, I will see you guys next time. And that's a promise. Actually, before I go, I should probably mention the fact that I am in the middle of writing a series of fantasy novels. If you guys don't know, I want to be a writer. I want to be a writer. I've always wanted to be a writer. I've always really liked fantasy stuff. Actually, I just recently started reading A Song of Fire and Ice. I'm starting with Game of Thrones. Obviously, that's the first book. And one of my favorite things is Tolkien's Legendarium, Lord of the Rings, Middle-earth, Arda. However you know it. I'm a really big fan of it. And that said, I'm working on my own story, my own fantasy. And if you guys are interested in it, go ahead and in the description below, you'll be able to find a link to my Discord server, and on that Discord server you will be able to ask for a rank and view what I am working on as far as the story, some of the plot, what's the word, some of the stuff about the plot, some of the stuff about the characters, the different significant weapons, significant characters, because there are going to be a lot of characters who are somewhat significant but do not significant characters who like you don't realize are significant at certain points in the novel if you get it. And I'm not going to go too deep into it because at the moment I'm not doing it on bringing it to my YouTube channel. I might, after it gets published, and kind of do some kind of explanations for some of the stuff in it. But regardless, I will see you guys later.